All right, we are back. It is our final segment this morning. Davidson County Sheriff Daron Hall joining us from his office at home. It's nice to see you, Sheriff. Have you had breakfast?
No.
No, not yet. Okay, it's good. But you should never go and do live TV on an empty stomach. Important tip from a seasoned professional, all right?
Well, I can hear my stomach telling me that right now.
Mine too. It's gurgling. All right, let's get back to the phone calls, and we have Rob waited through the break. Rob, good morning. What's your question or comment for the sheriff, Rob?
Yes, Sheriff. Don't you think that the problem with it is that they shouldn't have a union when it comes to the police or the police department? That these unions that they're there to show the public the police are, and not there to be members of a union. And as far as that picture goes of that policeman with his knee on that man's throat for 10 minutes, the major news media says, and the other three there standing beside,
doing nothing.
If the police need to be treated like the public's treated, instead of waiting to decide something like that, put the man in jail for murder and the other for accessories to murder for standing there and letting him do that while that guy's hollering with his handcuffs behind him.
Listen, I think that's where we're going, but again, we have a judicial system and everyone has to fairly go through the process. You just don't go grab them. They'll be indicted. They're going to be charged. I'll be stunned if they're not, but that takes some time and they're off it. But yeah, in terms of unions and the like, it was interesting, Sheriff. As quickly as I saw the mayor announcing that the 4 officers had been fired, pretty much right there on the spot, that's oftentimes where you hear the police union, and there is one there in Minneapolis for the officers, speak out. And I think they issued a statement, but it was a very soft statement. It was not, oftentimes you hear them say, oh, this is wrong, and they'll have their day in court. Even the union, to me, didn't seem to really react that much to the fact that the 4 officers were fired on the spot.
Yeah, I didn't follow a lot of that angle to it, but the thing that's a little alarming. I mean, I have 1,000 employees, and we've talked, Chief Anderson and I over the years, and every chief that's been over there. But it's not easy to fire somebody. You can laugh if you want to, but the truth is very hard to fire someone in a government situation. And what I mean is the process to do that. I mean, I've had many employees who don't deserve their job, and we fired, I say many, there have been several over the years. We fire those people only to be forced to take them back because of the civil service that go into it. And so it's not an easy task, and I'm familiar with Minneapolis, and it is a unionized situation. So my thought is that even says a little more that they were that quick to do that. And because they will be challenged. These people deserve due process of their job, and of course in the criminal case as well. So it'll be interesting, and I don't disagree with you. I think charges are pending. I think Rob was talking about why aren't they charged? Look, just look around the country that we have it here in our own county. Charging people with murder, convicting them now on law enforcement is not unusual anymore. So it is, I think, as he was asking, they are treated like society in a lot of cases. Once the facts come out and once they go to court and so forth. But and I suspect that's where we're headed in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's interesting as I was watching that and wondering, and as the other officer was just standing there, and there was a crowd of people witnessing that, I was thinking to myself, and again, it's law enforcement, and they have weapons, and they're in the act. But I was thinking to myself, if I were to witness something like that, just like that on the streets in Nashville, and I'm there and I'm not in the capacity as a reporter with a camera crew, in which case I would stick the camera right in their face, I would want to intervene. Now, I would be arrested, thrown down, I might get shot, but I mean, they're seeing this guy suffocate, and I'm not blaming the pedestrians for not taking action, but I would have an urge to say, wait a second, this is out of line, you're stopping this now. And then, of course, things could escalate and get ugly, but I almost wish someone did step across the line and say, you stop this now. I'm going to get arrested there on the spot, I'll deal with that later. But I mean, it's just so frustrating that nothing was being done, that one officer just standing there, doing nothing.
Yeah, I heard some of the footage. I heard somebody screaming or saying, he says he can't breathe, get up or whatever. But and I just have to say this. I mean, I think we have to be a little careful, and not in this case I'm talking about, but there's another whole side of the society right now that is so advocacy driven that they don't want to see the facts when someone does something wrong.
Right. You're
and,
right.
and so
You're
we're
right.
screaming at the police. But I mean, do you understand that I have a man who would have allowed those cops that everybody wants arrested to be, released and escape from prison and he's a member of an advocacy group.
Yeah.
And so we have to be careful. I think the man deserves to be, tried if that's what happens, and the justice system. But let's be fair. There's a lot of advocacy going on in the world, and a lot of challenging on all this that is borderline, getting out of hand on itself, and that has nothing to do with cops. And so I just want to be careful. I think the courts and the process is underway. If they hadn't fired the people and we were still up there, I think there's a lot to be said. But you fired them, you've taken them out, you're probably going to charge them, and the city is still rioting. I don't know as a mayor or what else you're supposed to do at this moment. Now, obviously, you got to hold them accountable, but you've done all that, and people are still burning police cars and rioting. I mean, I don't know, but.
Yeah, you know what that is, Sheriff? You're right. What that is a symptom of something else. It's not just about this one incident. And you saw the incident in Central Park with that woman and her dog and the man and her making the claims. It to me is a symptom of a larger issue here where it's just been simmering, and I think it's more because you're right. They did take action here. I don't think you can be unhappy with the steps that the city's taken with regard to those 4 officers so far. I think they handled it correctly. Yeah. Let's take a call from Angie. Angie, good morning. Hi, Angie.
Hi. I just had a comment I wanted to make to Sheriff Hall. I saw the picture on Mother's Day of you and your mother that Sunday 2 weeks ago, and it was in the Nashville, Tennessee newspaper, and that was such a sweet picture, Sheriff Hall, of you and your mom. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I didn't see that. So you were with your mom on Mother's Day.
Well, yeah, my mother didn't like the word mama, and so I had to call her mother, and I still do. And she is a great woman, and she's a part of everything I do. I bet you she's watching, and Angie made her day, and I was happy to see her in the paper as well. Very, very proud of my mother. Love her.
That's very nice. Thank you for your call, Angie. We'll take one more call, see if we squeeze this in. Becky, good morning, Becky. Go ahead. Hi, Becky.
No, this is Vicky.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vicky. You go ahead, Vicky.
I have 2 questions to say. One, I know you're going to get some feedback. I don't care. But one is the police officer was out there where Daniel was at. They still picking with my family and his friends. 2 is the mayor lied to me about firing the chief. He needs to be fired. And that's all I have to say.
That actually, Sheriff, is Vicki Hambrick, and of course her son is the one in that case with the officer-involved shooting that is pending, and it's going to go to trial. And I did think of that case when I saw this happen. Different circumstances, of course, but it's got to be very hurtful for that family and for Vicki every time you see a case like this, as she feels her son was done wrong, and this is going to go to trial.
Right. Yeah, I have a member of Vicky's family who works for me and very familiar with that case, and very, very tragic for them, I know. And again, there aren't, look, if my family member were killed in any way by someone else, I don't care what the circumstances are. I don't think I can ever have peace with that. So in fairness, it's very hard to imagine, regardless of the situation, and I'm not going to get into all that, but I understand we want and need some healing when things happen, and this situation obviously is one of those. So no answers that are simple. I don't know anything about the mayor and the chief of police and so forth, but as far as this case, but very familiar with Vicki and her family.
Yeah. Hey, real quick as we say goodbye to you, Sheriff, just going back, one quick note to Friedman. It talked about in the end of that news release like 10 years if convicted. I don't know if that's per count, but a lot of people were messaging me saying 10 years for what he's accused of if he's convicted? Better be a lot more than that. He's going to do more than 10 years if he's convicted, isn't he?
Well, I'm going to be there every day if I can, and more ways than one. One of them is the local charges.
Yeah.
which obviously will be a part of this. My understanding through the legal process is that, one gun is 10 years. If you're a felon with a gun, well, he had 21 guns, so 210 would work for me if they can do it.
Gotcha. That's what I figured. Yeah. So, folks, it's going to be much more if he's convicted. Sheriff Hall, listen, thanks for joining us. I miss having you in here, and it's just good to see you. I hope you're well, and give my best to Carla, and we'll see you again soon, all right? You take care of yourself, sir. And my best to your mom.
Hey, thank you very much, Nick. Have a great day.
All right, take care. Thanks again. We'll take a break, and when we come back, I'll have a programming note about tomorrow and today's episode of The Rebound coming up at noon. You'll want to join me right here. It's a good show, opening it up for your questions, COVID-related, and there's some big developments and things. The main thing is The Rebound Ask Nick is for you and for you to ask questions. We'll be back, and I'll fill you in on that right after this.